Seems like a long minute. What time at one time? Good evening. This time I'd like to open up the Zoning Commission meeting of July 9th, 2008. Let the record show all members are present except Mr. Julio Dumas. This time I'd like to open up the floor for public comment. Any item not on the agenda. If anyone wishes to come forward and speak, please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes. No one wishing to speak. Public comment period is closed. Acceptance of the minutes from June 11th, 2008.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Steve Barrow to approve, seconded by
Sherry Slyman.
Sherry Slyman. Thank you. Any opposition? Motion carries. Public hearing to consider the following rezoning case. Zoning ID 1900.09, John E. Savoy, who is presenting this rezoning. Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Stevens. I'm a representative of the property owner of the subject property. We're here to request that the Commission approve a rezoning request to go from conservation to rural.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, have any questions?
What is the purpose of requesting this rezoning? What are you intending to do with the property?
We have no short-term goals. We have long-term, basically to eventually get it to the point where you can put up to 3 properties on 1 acre. And getting it to rural will help that, whereas conservation, there's a lot more restrictions there.
Did anyone mention PUD to you or to y'all?
What was that?
Do y'all know about PUDs?
No, ma'am.
PUDs allow a little bit more density and trade-off for having parks and ponds and more amenities. So I think 3 per acre, and I'm guessing that's why everybody's here, is because they don't want that. But we don't see developers come before us for 3 per acre. They want 20 lots or 20 units per acre. And with a PUD, they can get greater density than 3 per acre. Okay. So I mean, that's an option that you have, that you do have to give an amenities in exchange for the greater development.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Any other questions, comments at this time? Hearing none, open up the floor for public hearing. Anyone wishing to come forward, speak on this property, come forward, sign in, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Sign in, please, sir, and we'll call you forward. Wait, well, I need to call. Hang in, just sign in. That this young lady's first, and then you can speak. Yeah, you may come up.
My name is Irva Myers, and I'm an adjoining property owner, and I'd like to go on record tonight as opposing the rezoning of this particular tract of land for the following reasons. Originally, it was zoned conservation for a reason. I'll ask you to go back and look at why. Second, all the surrounding adjoining properties are zoned conservation. If this were to be rezoned, it would be a one rural section and a very large conservation area. Conservation on the west side goes from Norwood Road all the way to Port Vincent, and on the east side from Prince Road to Port Vincent. It's a very large section. I will ask that if it should happen to be rezoned, that I would request that you would consider keeping this small little tract that borders on 431 that goes into the back where it opens up, that this would be used as green space. Another reason is that in 1983 there was a lot of flooding in the area enclosed by Highway 431 and 931. I'm sure there was some water on this property. The more concrete that's poured, the more streets that are made, the more trees that are knocked down, the more contour of the land that is changed, the quicker and the more flooding. And finally, I think it will change the integrity of this area. Most property owners in the area have larger home tracts of 1 acre or larger, and I would like it to stay that way. I know that you'll make an informed and intelligent decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's John Savoy. I'm the owner of that property.
Make sure you speak into the mic, sir.
Oh,
There.
I am the owner of that property, and what I wanted to speak on is what I'm thinking most people are concerned about is drainage. Since I have had that property, I have taken great effort to make sure that everything, that I take care of everybody's drainage away from me. How do you turn this thing on?
It's on.
It's on.
We see it.
Oh, it's on, great. All right. This part right here, I have swale ditches going this way and that way on the property line, which takes the water and brings it to public drainage. Higher up on that, the land drains down on me. See this up in here that is high ground. Down here, this paper incidentally is a wetland study approved by the Corps of Engineers. You can see this wetlands here and here. The parish has approved a ditch that will start right here, go all the way along here, all the way along here, all the way back through here, and all the way to 931, under 931 through existing drainage culverts, go to Henderson Bayou and out. All that drainage was known to be needed long ago, but nobody lived in this area, so it wasn't pushed forward. In 1990, people right along here blocked off my drainage. The Corps of Engineers came right back out and shut them off. But they went ahead and built put in a lot of dirt. They cut off an existing slough. They built a hill there. I had to go to court twice, and I have court orders to put all this drainage. When this drainage is done, my wetlands are there because the water can't get out. Now those ditches are going to drain everybody else too. They'll drain these people in here, and my cousin who just talked, her land's right here. It actually drains my way. It's gonna pick up my drainage, but my drainage across here I have entirely on me, so that my sewage and water won't affect anyone else. If they want to drain into it or whatever later, that's we'll see. The drainage along here, I can always drain from here and cut a ditch back to this ditch whenever it gets put in, because I do drain this way. That's, I guess, about what I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you.
I don't know if that's any help, or but I wanted to clarify those areas because I know drainage is an important issue.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Steve Morrow, and I own a piece of property on Floyd Lane, a little private road right south of Mr. John's property. There's a lot of history between there, and drainage is an issue. Whatever this property is rezoned as, I would like to think that we'd make that consideration of what's happening to the water that's there, what it's going to happen in the future. This property is zoned conservation right now, and we're going to go to a rural conservation. There was a young lady that knew a lot more about that than I did. Ascension is a very small piece of property as far as a parish goes, and we have great number of people and a great economy. My concerns is when are we going to be full? Okay. I don't have a problem with any development that goes on as long as we think it out for the future of our parish. I love this parish. I would like to see it continue on the road it is. I just worry about our massive development that we have going on in our parish. That's about all I do.
Thank you.
My name's Tracy Andre. I also live along Floyd Lane, and Mr. Savoy pointed out the fact of the parish giving access to a drainage alongside of his property. At one time, he came upon our property and approached me to put a ditch actually on Floyd Lane and not on his own property when he had gotten permission from the parish to do that. The concern is that along that line, again, drainage, how that drainage is going to get across Floyd Lane, and then the process of the development. I assume there's going to be a follow-up meeting for any development that does occur on this property.
Not once it's rezoned.
Not once it's rezoned.
If it's rezoned, we really.
So a developer can come in and.
Well, I mean, it depends on what if he's going to do a subdivision, that will come here. But I mean, just
Okay.
as far.
And that's what I guess I'm getting at, is if it's going to be a subdivision, because I'm assuming that's the whole purpose
Right.
of this. I mean, it's 50 acres. So.
Right. Right.
I guess the other part of this is the Army Corps of Engineers, are they going to get involved at the point of development? Or is that even an issue at this point because of the wetlands that are in this area?
If they do a subdivision, they have to get a permit.
Okay. And then, of course, back to the growth of this parish, the concerns that we do have are a couple of locations of highways, 431 and 42. Back up greatly. There's no lights there. With this development, it's just going to put more traffic in those areas. Also on 931 and 44, there's no turning lane right there into Gonzales. Backs up quite a bit. And several new developments along that highway that needs to be addressed. Back in 2000, there was also a flood that occurred, and this was after development of this road at Floyd Lane and everything. We had water back on along all of those properties along Floyd Lane. The property does drain, as Mr. Savoy mentioned, across the property and then back towards Henderson Bayou. And if that development gets built up or dirt added in those areas, that's just going to push more water back onto those properties along Floyd Lane. So there's a big concern with that. There was, I think it got 12-foot Freds when this occurred. And then there was a previous flood, too, that also pushed water back on this property.
I probably have about 10 seconds.
Okay. Well, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Byron Fontenot. I live on Byron Fontenot Road. It's a dead-end road on the north side of John's property. I share less than about 600 feet from this. I don't know. Is this thing? There we go. Byron Fontenot Road comes up to here. This ditch that drains part of his property goes on my property and comes down Byron Fontenot Road to the main parish ditch. In 1983, Fort Vincent flooded 14 feet. The water went across 42, part of 431, went across 931, came across, flooded Lakewood subdivision, flooded Lionel Keller's house a foot. Right next to Byron Fontenot Road is Colin Keller's house, flooded 3 feet. It hit 431, which acted as a levee. The water flowed back towards my house, across this ditch, through these wetlands, through here, hit Harry Savoy Road on 431. It was 2 feet deep. When that water bled through there, it didn't get any deeper in that whole basin of 431, 931. A few years ago, someone bought this 46 acres, put some kind of road and dirt in there. Mr. John spent lots of money and had attorneys. He won a judgment that they blocked the drainage. I think he got this property as part of settlement. It's none of my business where that happened. But any kind of flood like that is going to hit where they want to go. Now, this other map is showing my property's right here. They want to use this 7.85 acres right here to put a road in, to have houses on that road and put a subdivision in the back. That's the eventual deal. I'm confused as to how the little road on Floyd Lane caused a major lawsuit, and how a road high enough for a subdivision with asphalt, with drainage, and houses on each side which should be raised won't block the drainage from a flood. And if all of that stuff gets dug and drained the other way, that's just going to leave it easier to come in for the next flood. So I'm just concerned that any more roads going through there are going to block. I live there. I saw the water running like a river through in front of my house, and it was going backwards away from the river. And it's got to go through this property. So if there's any kind of development there, all those people in Lakewood subdivision, me and everybody else, are going to suffer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Public hearing is closed. Rebuttal. John, you want? Who's gonna rebuttal? If you can, or your representative can.
I just go back to all I've already shown on what I'm doing about drainage.
Okay.
That canal that I'm having done along my south line, if the parish can get past Katrina and get to digging it, will take care of most of the drainage in the area.
All right.
And I've done everything I can to drain my property without hurting my neighbors. It's hard for them to believe it, possibly, but
Commissioners have any?
I've got engineer
Questions?
stamps and core stamps all over everything.
Thank you.
Lance, I have a question. Conservation,
Yes, ma'am.
1 per acre.
1 per acre.
Rural is 2 per acre.
2 per
He
acre.
mentioned
2.
3 per
Okay.
acre.
Yeah,
think I
rural
said
would be
that.
2.
And that's,
Yeah.
can
Now,
only
his
be-
ultimate goal, if he said was 3, I'm not sure, but 2 would be allowed in a rural district,
okay.
max.
That's what I thought. All right.
Any other questions, comments?
No, but I have a comment. I would still rather see 2 houses per acre than to see somebody come in and bring a PUD in here and put townhouses or 20 units per acre. And I know they get amenities, but out here, I would a lot rather see the bigger lots, just, you know, the big as you can get.
While I agree that 2 houses per acre is better than 3 or more, I don't feel that this request is in keeping with our overall parish zoning concept. And it is also, it's a blatant issue of spot zoning. Based on that, I'm going to make a motion to deny or recommend denial to the parish council.
What about that school that I'm all over from in that same area?
Okay, I have a motion by Michael Marchand to deny,
Second.
second by Steve Barrow.
I'm opposed.
Opposition from Sherry. Any other opposition? Motion to deny is approved, and it will go to the council. Next item on the agenda, zoning review for 1906.08 for SBS, located on Highway LA 30 1,500 feet east of Ashland Road.
My name's Danny Montelepre. I'm a representative of SBS.
All right. You want to wait for people to leave? It's
Okay.
your prerogative. You want to hang on a second? Okay.
My name's Danny Montelepre. I'm the representative for SBS, whose project this is.
I mean, tell us what you're doing, what your proposal is about.
This is it's just a site plan review. It's in that y'all's business park development area, and what we're proposing is a small. We're a general contractor. It's a small little regional office and some storage space, warehouse in the rear.
Okay. Commissioners have any questions? Hearing none, I'd like to open up the floor for public hearing. Anyone wishing to comment on this, please come forward and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to comment. Public hearing is closed. Comments, questions from commissioners?
Staff, we have all the documentation we need as far as that goes.
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay. Yeah. Based on that, I'd recommend approval.
Second.
Motion approved by Steve Barrow, seconded by Sherry Slyman. Any opposition? Motion carries. Adjourn. Motion to
Second.
adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.